Struggling, single mom saw her first love at an airport, not knowing he was now a millionaire CEO, and still lonely. The morning rush at the small airport cafe had barely begun when Olivia Harper tied her apron and took a deep breath. Her feet already ached from the early shift, and her hands were rough from constant scrubbing of coffee machines and dishes. She glanced at the clock, 7:42 a.m., and wiped her brow with the back of her hand. She moved behind the counter, the scent of fresh coffee swirling around her like a familiar lullaby. Olivia, now 28, had worked this job for nearly 3 years. It was not glamorous, but it put food on the table and paid rent for the modest apartment she shared with her 5-year-old son, Jamie. He was her light, her reason to keep going. "Large cappuccino, no sugar," a voice called out. Olivia smiled, already halfway through making it. She had memorized the regulars, but as she handed the cup over and looked up, her breath caught. Across the terminal, near Gate 18, a man sat alone with a laptop and a black leather duffel bag at his feet. She froze. Her heart skipped a beat, then raced. Lucas Bennett. Her first love. He was staring at his screen, fingers paused mid-typing. His hair was neatly styled, suit crisp, presence commanding, but she would have recognized him anywhere, even after a decade. He had been the boy who made her laugh on rainy days, who read poetry in a terrible British accent, who once stayed up all night just to walk her home. Lucas had been the entire sky of her youth. Olivia's instinct was to look away. Her hand shot up to tuck a stray strand behind her ear, only to remember her hair was in a messy bun. Her uniform was wrinkled from the morning rush, faint coffee stains on the hem of her apron. She looked down at her worn sneakers. Maybe if she kept her distance, he would not recognize her. 10 years had passed. People change. She surely had. She turned quickly, pretending to clean the counter, heart thudding. What would he think if he saw her like this? A single mom, barely scraping by in a faded uniform. But fate had other plans. An elderly man near the boarding area dropped his canvas tote bag, its contents, magazines, a pill bottle, snacks, scattered across the floor. Olivia didn't hesitate. She rushed over and knelt beside him. "Here, let me help you," she said gently, gathering the items and slipping them back into the bag. And that was the moment. As she looked up to hand the man his things, her eyes met Lucas's. Time froze. Lucas blinked. His hands dropped from the keyboard. The terminal noise faded as his gaze locked on hers. That face, those eyes. He would never forget them. For 10 years he had carried that image. The eyes that lit up when she spoke of dreams, the quiet strength they held when life got hard. And here they were again, still familiar, now heavier. "Olivia?" he whispered, barely audible. But she was already standing, heart pounding, avoiding his gaze. She nodded to the old man and turned away, walking briskly back toward the cafe, hands trembling. Behind her, Lucas remained frozen, the laptop forgotten. He remembered it all. The summer nights on campus, the tears, the laughter, the dreams they built together. She had been his anchor when he nearly flunked freshman year. His parents never approved of her, said she lacked ambition, came from the wrong kind of family. He had fought them, but when the scholarship to study overseas came, he had no choice. He left. No goodbye, just gone. She waited. He never wrote. Eventually, she stopped hoping. That summer, Olivia cried until her chest ached. Then, little by little, she learned to live without him. And now, 10 years later, same airport, same city, different lives. And yet, in a single glance, everything they buried rushed back, unspoken, unfinished, undeniable. Lucas took a slow breath, then stepped toward the cafe. He found Olivia behind the counter, wiping down a tray, her expression tired but focused. She looked up and saw him. For a moment, neither of them said a word. "Hi," he said gently. Olivia nodded. "Hi. I was hoping we could talk, if you have a minute." She glanced around. "I'm on break in 10. They sat at a small table near the window, away from the noise of travelers rushing past. The tension between them was clear, but there was something softer beneath it. a quiet familiarity, a shared history that neither had forgotten. "It's really been 10 years," Lucas said. "It has," Olivia replied, her voice low. He studied her face. She looked older, worn in ways that spoke of struggle, but stronger too, like someone who had endured more than most and kept standing. "So, how have you been?" he asked. Olivia hesitated, then took a sip of her lukewarm coffee. "I have a son, Jamie. He's 5. It's just the two of us." Lucas blinked. "You're a mom?" She nodded. "Yeah, I work here in the mornings, clean offices at night. It's not easy, but we manage." There was no resentment in her voice, only quiet acceptance. She didn't mention Jamie's father, and Lucas didn't press. "I'm not surprised you're still standing," he said. "You were always the strongest person I knew." She looked down, unsure how to take the compliment. Lucas wanted to ask more, but something stopped him. Instead, he noticed her attention shift when an older man near the terminal stumbled, dropping a plastic bag. Olivia stood up quickly, walked over, and knelt to help him. She handed him the items with a kind smile, then opened her lunch container and gave him half of her sandwich. Lucas watched from the window. From the way she tucked her meal away afterward, he guessed it might have been all she had. When she returned, he said nothing, but something in him shifted. "You haven't changed," he said. "You still think of others before yourself." "I don't know how else to be," she replied with a small smile. A few minutes later, Lucas checked his phone. His flight was boarding. "I have to go," he said, standing reluctantly. "Of course," Olivia said, her voice calm. He paused. "Can I give you my card? Just in case." She nodded and took it without a word. As he walked away, he turned once more. She was already behind the counter again, tying her apron, fading back into the background. But she didn't fade from his mind. Days passed. Olivia returned to her routine. Work, Jamie, sleep, repeat. Then came a knock on the door. Her landlord stood with a scowl. "You're behind again. I can't wait any longer. You need to be out by tomorrow." "Please," Olivia begged. "I just need a few more days."